YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. Hey y'all. So if I'm coming on here, yeah, I'm still kind of looking like a wet dog. I just got finished pickling my face, you know, the whole night cream and then eye cream situation. So I'm not fully absorbed yet. So please forgive me for that and for the hair. I intended to wash it tonight and then realized that I had no conditioner. So yeah, first thing tomorrow. But I wanted to come in because it's been a couple of days, because I've needed a couple of days since my last video, which I just watched for the first time in full tonight. For those of you that may not be caught up, I am speaking to Love's Ashes #3, David, which is the most recent video I've done. I really, you know, when What's Love Got to Do With It came out, the movie, Tina Turner was asked if she had any intentions of watching it. And she said, you know, why would I watch it? What need would I have to watch it? I lived it. And I kind of felt that way about that video. I lived it. And then I made the video. And then I uploaded the video. So there was really no need to watch the video at that point. Of course, I've seen bits and pieces of it, you know, when I was cutting it together in the whole 9 yards. But as far as start to finish, no. Not until tonight. I want you guys to know that I have read every single comment, every private message, every message directed at the One Love Lounge, every ounce of feedback I've received from that video. I have read it all. And I am eternally grateful to each and every one of you who looked out for me. It means, to try to formulate into words what it means is next to impossible, but please know that all of you have drastically affected the trajectory of my life. And I'm just, I am gratitude. I can't even call myself grateful. I am the very essence of gratitude. And I feel your love, and you have mine eternally for your unwavering support. I've been doing a lot of thinking since the uploading of that video. And people who have wrote me, and I won't shout your names out, but people who have wrote me and who have said, you know, you've endured so much. How is it? I mean, you're still relatively young. How could you have gone through all this? And for me, you know, I didn't make that video. Every time I upload a video, no matter how, you know, light or seemingly inconsequential or jovial it may be, or how deep and profound it might be, my intention is always to simply get my subtastics to think, to smile, to question their lives and challenge themselves to develop a different way of going about doing things. I mean, there's always that intent. But I found that with my most recent videos, and especially with the Love's Ashes series, it really was like kind of, I don't know, sticking a note in a balloon and just letting it go. And freeing myself from the constraints of it being in my own head. You know, putting it out into the ether. And therefore it no longer simply belonged to me, or belongs to me, as the case may be. There has been a lot that's happened. I mean, I am acutely aware, even, you know, with regard to some of my news piece commentary, I know that, or I've come to realize that, you know, as passionate as I get about things that have happened in the news, especially things that have involved children and things like that, you know, there is that one small voice in the back of my head that says, hey, that happened to you too. And as deeply as you're grieving for them, you should acknowledge that it happened to you. And so there's a whole internal process that comes with this. But I was watching, and I promise I'm coming to a point here. I was watching Oprah's reunion of the cast of Roots. They recently celebrated 35 years since the release of that iconic, galvanizing movie. And she brought back, oh my goodness, John Amos and Cicely Tyson and LeVar Burton and Louis Gossett Jr. I mean, like the legends was in the building. You know what I mean? And she was interviewing Cicely Tyson. And Cicely said something that has struck such a chord with me. And I just watched it tonight. And I'm going to paraphrase the hell out of this because y'all know I'm terrible with direct quotes. But she said something to the effect of, I am the sum total of everything that has happened to me. And I am more grateful for the negative experiences in my life than I am for the positive. Because it is the negative that shows you how you've survived. That she's gleaned more out of life from the negative things that have happened to her than the positive things. Because the lessons that have come out of the negative have been the driving force which has propelled her forward in her personal life, in her career, in all aspects of her being. And I found that to be such a profoundly wise statement. And for me, it was almost bittersweet because while I acknowledge that, I mean, my soul agrees with that sentiment. I know that my head has not gotten there yet. But Cicely Tyson is a woman of a certain age, and she's had some years to formulate this thing. So if God should give me those years, I know that I will get there too, or I too will get there. But that was just incredibly powerful for me. And this is why I choose every day not to approach life from the standpoint of a victim or from victimization. It is very easy and almost to an extent, and I know this is going to sound harsh, but it's the only way that it's coming across right now. It is very easy and almost to an extent cowardly to live in the space of that which has happened to you. And I talked about this in another video, one of my more recent videos, and I am not trying to minimize the tragedy or tragedies that have befalled us all of us, whether you've ever made a video or not. You sitting wherever you are watching this, I know you have a story. I know that I know that I know you have a story, and you have known pain. It may not be pain, on the scale of other, I mean, I really don't feel like you can measure pain anyway, but the point is, I know you have felt it, I know you have experienced it, and by virtue of the fact that you're still alive, I know that you are still here to tell the story of it. So for me, putting the pause button on your life as a result of this instance or that tragedy or those traumas, it is going from living to existing. I spent close to 7 years in the relationship that I was in with David, not living, merely existing. And this really did kind of send me into some sort of like existential crisis as far as, what will it mean for my life if he stumbles across this and recognizes himself within it? Because, while I told you that I changed his name and certain identifying details, the reality is 97% of everything I said was exactly how it happened. And for me, I simply don't care. I simply do not give a single. I don't care, because we're talking about my life, and truth is relative to the teller. He may have a completely different version of events, and he is entitled to feel however he may feel about the period of time in which we were together. But what I said was what I knew to be true for me. Period. I almost, to get back into this whole victim situation, this may be the part of my psyche, so to speak, where I am the least bit developed. Because I have next to zero sympathy for those individuals who have made the decision to stay stuck. When there are people all over the world who went to bed last night who did not get to wake up this morning, who would give anything for 5 more minutes, for 10 more minutes, to hug their loved ones, to express their joys, to say thank you to those that they never had the opportunity to say I'm sorry to those that they never had and never will have the opportunity to. Setting the afterlife conversation to the side for a minute. To say that I am nothing more than this moment, this time period, this incident, and this is who I am now, to me it is fundamentally a waste of the life that you were designed to have. I was watching the movie Bridesmaids the other night, and it took me back. I know y'all remember Wilson Phillips. I mean, if you're of my era, you certainly remember Wilson Phillips. And I mean, I wore their album out. The song Hold On, the song The Dream Is Still Alive. Oh my God, you should never know. And one of the lines in the song Hold On is, no one can change your life except for you. And I could not agree with that more. It would be very easy for me to sit here pining over essentially the loss of my 20s. I was turning 26 when when me and David's relationship ended. You know what I mean? So those formative years when you're starting to really discover yourself, I spent dimming my own light with the expectation that his would subsequently shine brighter. And I mean, it's the worst possible thing you can do in a relationship, is to make yourself small in order to make someone else feel big. It's absolutely the worst. And it would be very easy for me to kind of wallow in that misery. To wallow in the space of, yes, I was abused emotionally, occasionally physically, certainly, emotionally, psychologically, however you want to put it. But I am still here, which means that my purpose has yet to be fulfilled. And nobody on earth was placed here, or is here, or remains here in order to be a victim. There are unspeakable atrocities going on in this world today. I look at stories all the time. I mean, simply from the rape-free phone zone that I did, video that I did. When you think of a 7 or 8 or 9-year-old girl being passed around from soldier to soldier as a tactic of war, I will never know the horror of an experience like that. I pray you will never know the horror of an experience like that. But those same girls continue to dream. Those same girls, in the midst of the, devastating trauma that they've endured, continue to find a reason to smile. And no, I mean, I'm not going to make a broad general statement and say that that's the case with all of them. But if you can find one that does, allow that to be the catalyst to inspire you to be born again, be reborn from the ashes of what has happened to you, and get up and face the day and face your life with a new sense of conviction. What happened between David and I forced me out of that neighborhood. I left all of that behind. I relapsed and tried to reconnect with him in another area. It, again, I mean, it didn't pan out, but it was a far less, I mean, I was so acutely aware of the parameters of him at that point that it was almost of no consequence to me at all. And eventually it led me to make some incredibly drastic decisions with the expectation that it would exponentially improve the quality of my life. And it has. It has. So I'm simply coming at you tonight, and I know that this wasn't the most topic-driven or coherent video I've ever made, but I'm saying all this to you to say that life as a survivor is infinitely better than that as a victim. You are not what other people have done to you. You are not what other incidences or incidents have happened to you. You are none of those things. You are who you declare yourself to be. And if you walk around saying, I am a victim, that is exactly who you are. But if you walk around saying to yourself, if you walk through life saying, I am a survivor, I am an overcomer, and I am all right, you will be. You will be. The road will rise up to meet you every single time. So, y'all, please don't worry about me. I got it out of my system, and I'm excellent. And there is more to come. Believe that. There is absolutely more to come. Because, if I've benefited you at all with my stories and with, reliving certain experiences that I've had in my life, please know that I'm unpacking my baggage as we speak and opening the door to a world of possibilities. And I'm even going to go so far as to say a world of probabilities. So, with that being said, YouTube, I am out of here. You will be seeing me again very soon. And as always, one love.